All right. So we are back. Had a little break. I just took a tiny little sip of water. All right. Okay, you may have noticed the cat is different and I got a haircut. All right. It's been longer than a little water break. Oh, I happen to have a little fresh catnip in my pocket here. What's that? Uh-oh. All right, so where were we? Okay, we are going to do cat and cow. And just in case you're new to YouTube, this is part 2 of the Pilates video. So go back and start with part 1 if you didn't watch part 1. So we're halfway through, approximately. Exhale up into your cat. Inhale down into cow. Look up slightly, but don't torque your neck out. So then, also from yoga, comes our tiger stretch. So using the same movement, we're going to exhale in and inhale out. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze. You can go at your own pace. I'll let you know when we're going to hold it. We're going to hold it pretty soon. What's that? Okay, next time we're going to hold it here. Hold and breathe. So I'm extending out sort of horizontally. But you could go higher, and then also in yoga, the tiger is also known as this pose here. So this would be where the leg comes up. Okay, but you don't have to do that. That's optional. Let's start our other side whenever you're ready. Exhale in, inhale out. Oh, if you're worried that I got a really bad haircut, don't worry about it. I was just wearing my bike helmet, which ruined it. So the haircut's okay, but it may just look funny. And that is a inside joke to my regulars who I care about deeply that have forced me to wear a bike helmet whenever I ride to the YMCA. How about one more? So extra squeeze, and then we'll hold here. And then if you want, you can come into this. This is sort of just like another half bow. So when we do our bicycle in the side series, that's what this is, right? And I always say it's a lot easier to do it laying down than it is in other ways. So another version of this is laying flat on your stomach, which is also uncomfortable. So when we do the bicycle later, you'll see this pose, okay? So, and my leg should be way up, but I'm just kind of not very flexible anymore. All right, that's enough. Couple more cat and cow just to straighten the back out again. And then we'll move the spine laterally, so from side to side. Okay. If this lateral movement is hard to feel, if you can't really feel it, just try looking back at your hip. It tends to swing everything around a little further. One more of these. So try to do an even number on both sides, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Why don't we do just a tiny bit more yoga? How about if we were to curl our toes under and press up into a downward facing dog? No offense to the cat. Try pulling back on your hips. Try dropping your chest. And then come back down. And we could do a little more yoga. We could just simply carefully sit back on our feet. Be super careful. So I'm holding weight in my arms, testing my knees, testing my feet. Nothing should hurt too much. Okay, if everything's okay, you could try coming to here. If this is okay, then come to here. But what we don't want to see is this. This is not a pose, and there's no reason really to bring our arms overhead. So if you're not comfortable and you're here, just stay here. This is perfectly fine. It doesn't have to look a certain way, right? So let us come out into, well, let's get our heart rate going again. Let's jump in the water, do our swim, okay? Keep the abs engaged, please. She's doing it too. Long, even breath. The chest is free to expand. You can breathe into your back and sides, but the abs are engaged. And so you could transition from a long, even breath to a pulse breath if you want to sprint. That's the same breath we do as in the hundreds. What? Sprint if you want. And then back to child pose again. Or for variety, you could do a frog pose, which is just basically a wide-legged child pose with my feet are splayed out to the sides. This will open the hips more. All right. Come out into our Sphinx pose. So remember, if you have your consciousness on your abs, this will be an ab stretch. If you're thinking about your back, this becomes a back bend. The movement is the same, and it's just where you have your mind or your yi, your intention. And normally we would do our single leg kicks and stuff like that, but we've done so much yoga that we don't really need to mess around with those. Why don't we do instead what inspired the double leg kick, which is Sarpasana, or a snake pose, not a cobra, but a snake. So drop down to your chin, join your hands behind your back, point your feet, engage your abs, and then just come up. So this is what we do during our double leg kick, right? And so I'm motionless, keeping the abs engaged. Okay, release. Back to child pose to soothe your back. we'll do a very similar related pose, which is a locust pose, where the hands are not joined together. And this might be the one that you would do if you're not comfortable joining your hands. But my arms are swept back and the palms are facing each other, facing inward. Feet are pointed. Feet don't really have to be together, but they could be if you wanted. I'm just going to rise up and pull back here, opening the chest, opening the heart and the throat. This is our locust. Back to child pose again. Okay, one more pose that opens the front of the body, because Pilates has too many forward folds, right? We'll do a swan pose. This is similar to oh, she's just eating this stuff now. She's going to be high for days. I shouldn't have brought so much. I shouldn't have brought some. I forgot. She's a nut. Okay, so similar to our cobra, but I'm actually going to have my hands down here, and then bring your feet together, press your feet together, and we're not going to do a big upward movement like a cobra, but just fairly high, and then but lift your feet as well. Your knees don't have to come up unless you can. If you can bring your knees up, that'd be great. And try to relax your shoulders so it's not a push-up. It's not a push-up, and my hips are not up. I know you want to. I know you want to straighten out your arms, but most people are not going to be able to straighten out their arms here. And it would actually be interesting to see if you can do this with no hands. So it's the opposite of what you're thinking. It's not a push-up. Maybe you can do it without any hands at all, which is even better. Okay. Super great. Release, back to child pose. All right. I believe we are ready for our side series. So have a sip of water if you want. Remember, you can always pause anytime you want for your water. So remember, this is a half moon side bend. It comes from yoga. Elbow under the shoulder. Okay, so as I always say, so about here would be a plank. This is a half moon or a side bend. I'm coming up higher, so it's hard to see because I can't really hyperextend up that high. So this would be plank. This is even higher. Inhale up, exhale down. And then hold at the top and really feel the side stretch here. Extending upward, breathing. So you could also pull this foot back, see, back behind me. That opens up here. You don't want to lift this leg because then that shuts this down, right? And we're going to be doing plenty of leg lifts later, so don't worry about that. All right. Let's do our, let's skip our side kick and go right into our toe taps. Let's start with 5 in the front, 3, 4, 5, and 5 in the back. 4 in the front. She's run out of steam. 4 in the back. 3 in the front. 3 in the back. 2 in the front. 2 in the back. And then singles. All right, let's do our bicycle, as we mentioned before. So, see now, when I reach back, grab my foot, see that's the half bow. So everything here should be expanding outward. Imagine a balloon. The balloon is here and it's expanding in all directions. And you're on the surface of the balloon. Okay, great. Release and bicycle backward. Excellent. Let's do our single leg raise. Inhale up and exhale down. The foot is pointed up and flexed down. So see, if I sag here, I can adjust, I can readjust as much as every other movement, right? So, oops, I sag down, come back up again. Let's do développé. Point to the knee, point to the ceiling, flex the foot down. I think I broke my cat. Too much catnip. She's a wreck. Why don't we reverse, which is envelope? Okay. And then bring the legs together for the double leg raise. Inhale up, exhale down. Press the feet together, or just the heels. You can rotate outward if you want. So, for those of you in the back row normally who can't see what's going on, well, you still can't see what's going on with this here. Let's put this over here. So, I've reviewed this before, but just so we know, I'm trying to be as sideways as possible. If I sit back, I'm working these muscles here, but I can lift my legs, and I think I'm doing a really good job. If I really come onto my side, I can't lift my legs hardly at all, but I'm working here. So it's not right or wrong, it's just different, okay? And Pilates was very specific. So I'm getting much less movement, but it's working the muscles that I already did. Because we already did things like this, right? Okay, great. So let's drop all the way down to the floor and then lift the leg up. Either hold here, here, or here. This is the best, even if you need to get a strap, even if you have to pause the video, put a belt or a towel over your foot and hold it like this. Because if you can hold from this here, then you'll lengthen here. If you hold here, you're not lengthening, right? So it's just telling you why, what's the reasoning behind it. And then nothing else is going on. I really discourage you from being propped up here. This is bad for your neck, but everyone loves it. So I don't know, if you like it, go ahead and kill your neck. So you could watch Netflix in this pose. This is an easy pose to just hang out in, but we need to move on. I'm going to bring my foot down in front of the hip, or as close up as I can get. Roll forward to bring the heel up and then pulse the heel. So again, I'll explain what's going on here. If you point the toe up, you're working the quadriceps, and we've already worked the quadriceps, so you can work the quadriceps all day long, climbing stairs and stuff like that, but this is harder to access, and the harder we do the exercises, that get the muscles that are hardest to access in normal life, right? Otherwise, so we do the things that are most difficult. So now you can feel the hip adductor. Okay. What Judy called the fluff. If you're new, you don't know who Judy is, you don't know what fluff is, we'll leave it at that. And then there's other things we can do. So in yoga, we wouldn't really pulse, we would just hold here. And then another thing we can do is just drop this down, keep this down, but press back up and over. That's a nice pose. And then also from yoga, and these are all inspired by the same thing. These are all inspired by Ananta, who was an incarnation of Vishnu. So Pilates just stole all this stuff, but that's okay. So I'm going to reach up and grab my foot, and then this is sort of a balance. I can move forward onto my foot and onto my elbow and actually come up here. It's not as hard as it looks, because most of my weight is in the leg and the arm, it's easy to bear that weight. All right, enough. Okay, release gently. Come around. We'll start the other side with our side bend, half moon side bend. What happened to my poor cat? Inhale up, exhale down. I hope some of you paused for water. Uh-oh, I gotta move back so I don't kick my cat. Can you hear her purring? Oh, I don't know if she was purring or not. Let's see. Okay, up we go. She's sort of doing some sort of Pilates thing there. How about one more? And we'll hold the top. And breathe. Pull this top leg back. All right. Come on down. Straighten the leg out. So, can't remember I think maybe we skipped the side kick, but we could always just do a couple. And then let's switch into our toe taps, 5 in the front and 5 in the back, way back. Again, opening the hip. We're always bringing this leg forward, rarely bringing it back. Do 3, we're down to 3. And 3, and 2, and 2, and then singles. With control. I'm going slow, I'm kind of hovering. Good. Do your bicycle. As big a bicycle as your hip will allow. And then when that foot comes behind you, grasp it and really open and extend. So I wish I could demonstrate this better, but it just looks like I'm pulling on my foot, but I'm not. I'm really trying to open outward. It's hard to explain. If I was super flexible, you could see it. It's not how it looks, it's how it feels though. For any reason, if you can't reach your foot, then you should be using that towel or that belt over that foot, loop it over, and hold it like this, right? Okay, bicycle backward. Let's do single leg raise. Inhale up, exhale down. And then develope. Point to the knee, point to the ceiling, and then flex down. Let's reverse that. Oops, where did I go? I got distracted. I'm going to get mic her a little bit better. Keep going, keep going. Okay, one more develope. Let's bring the legs together for the double leg raise. She keeps rolling away from the mic. That's just rude. Oh, that's rude too. Okay, one more of these. And then foot in front of the hip. Roll that heel upward, pulse the heel. See if we can hold it up there. And then optional. So if you don't want to press up and over, just keep doing these, okay? I'm going to go up and over. All right, let's come on down. We can try that arm balance if you want. Taking this free hand, bringing it over to here. Uh-oh, getting in my way. You're in my way, kitty. Come back down to here and roll forward. Everything comes up. There we go. There you go. Up to here. Just for fun. Okay, so our can is based on a yoga movement called a crocodile twist, and it can be done laying all the way down, but it's more manageable to be up on your elbows, right? So don't just launch into your can. We're going to come way over to here and extend this out. And then back to here. And then I'm keeping my chest high as forgot to at first. And so in yoga, we actually might hold that over on the side, but you see where this is going, right? So we might slowly start to increase our tempo. And I might even begin to hum our can-can song. Exhale each time. So bum 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 bum. All right, etc., etc. We can go a little faster. One more time around. I like to do it slower. Bum, 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 bum. I guess you guys can break loose and do whatever you want. You could be going really fast. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, all right, yay. That brings us to the end, actually. So lay back, hug your knees. We will end the way we opened with our Markatasana, or monkey twist. Arms out to the sides, knees together, feet together, ankles together. Knees to one side, head to the other. Slowly bring the knees to the other side. Slowly come back to center. So here's what I'm going to do. In yoga, well, first of all, hug your knees to your chest. In yoga, we would meditate for a solid 5 minutes, right? But I know my Pilates people don't like to meditate so much. So what I'm going to do is just get you started, and I'm going to sneak out of the way and let you meditate for just as long as you want, and you can meditate just you and her together, okay? So if she'll cooperate, I think she probably will. So we'll see how this goes. So before we start, I just want to thank you all for tuning in. I miss all of you, and we'll be back together soon, but maybe not quite as soon as we wish. And also remember, even when we have the go-ahead, you may wish to self-quarantine, and that's perfectly okay if that's what you choose to do. So we loosened our shoulders, carefully loosen your neck. We're ready to collapse down into our corpse pose, and then do what you want, but at least give me 5 long, even breaths, okay? Okay, good. She's back.